What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about mana today, Decentraland. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Let's get into it, okay? I always pull it up on the Coinbase chart, but let's look at it on Kraken. Maybe even just the overall crypto chart. Let's get the all-time history. I want to talk about mana in a different light than I normally talk about it. Right? We're going to look at it on a long-term perspective and then refine it down to the shorter-term stuff. Normally, I do it the opposite way. Right? It makes sense to go from the short-term to the long-term, but we're going to look at it just plain and simple for what it is. Right? This thing, first off, last cycle was extremely underrated, extremely undervalued. Myself, even, people were telling me to buy at these prices. I have friends in real life, shout out to Eric and Lizzie on that note, who told me to buy down here, and I didn't buy down here. I actually bought up at this area, right? And we had a nice little pop at the end of the cycle, but could have had a lot more. All I'm trying to say is mana now is also in this really underestimated, undervalued position, and it doesn't make sense to me because the chart itself is one of the most bullish charts in crypto. Find a chart that looks postured like this, that's been around for 1-2 bull cycles, 1-2 bear cycles. And yes, it came about at the ass end of the first bull cycle, but still, it saw a bull cycle finale twice, bear cycles twice. Find a chart that looks just like this or more bullish than this. I dare you. That's existed since 2017, right? Dogecoin, maybe, right? Bitcoin, okay, right? The obvious ones, yeah, whatever. But I'm just altcoins, general altcoins. Dogecoin might be the only one that other than Bitcoin that has a better looking chart, right? This thing here, what's great about mana, in my opinion, is that last cycle it started to run. It found its low, its bear cycle low in March of 2020. Bitcoin had already been well underway on its bull cycle, right? Altcoins are already well underway on their bull cycle, but this thing started its cycle very late. It ended it in November 2021, so around the same time as Bitcoin, and it topped off at a 418x. It's crazy. Crazy growth, right? Hold on. Oof. I'm not expecting that we see that this time. But even though we started the cycle late last time, we saw immaculate growth. We're starting the cycle late this time too. We're starting it here. Mana didn't start its bull cycle or end its bear cycle until August of 2024. I don't know how long this cycle will be, but if it were to be the same size as last cycle, let's actually see if it were to be the same length of time. Let's just see what that would do. That would put us in March of 2026. So already, I'm assuming that our move up here, as far as the cycle goes, it's not going to be as wide as this one, right? It's not going to take as much time from a low to a high. This one took us, on a monthly perspective, this one took us 20 months to achieve. I'm assuming this move here will take us less than 20 months to achieve. So if we put that over, I'm actually going to just put this off to the side right now. Let's put this right here, okay? 20 months to achieve from here. Likely it'll be less than 20 months. I'm assuming, right, it'll be probably December, if not November of this year. I'm going to stick with November, 15 months. So that's pretty close. It's not the exact same amount of time. In fact, I wonder, from a low to this high, I mean, that was 12 months, right? And how much of a move was that? Low to high, how much was this? That's 107. I don't know. That could be what we're doing, man. That could be. I'm curious. What was that actually? High to low. Come on, give it to me. There we go. 1618. Okay, I like that. I like that a lot actually, because I think from a high to a low, that 1618. Yeah, it puts us at 40. I like that a lot, man. I really could see that happening. 170% from a low here to a high. Maybe instead of 172x, it sees a 200x, 210x, something like that, at 45 bucks. 210x. It's too late in the cycle. Do you know how long it would take? The blah blah. Dude, we got 15 months left until November. 15 months left from now until November. Right? It's the end of January, so literally 15 full months until November, which is when I think the cycle is going to end. Last cycle, we started the cycle late, and we saw it changes depending on where you put it. We basically saw over 400x, so 420x last cycle for mana, and calling for half of that just because we're starting late, like we started late last cycle, I'm calling for half of that now without half the time, right? It's just 5 months less. It's a quarter less of the time. I think a $45 price for mana is it's not guaranteed. But man, mana is one of my biggest bags, you guys. Mana, just so you know, just so we're fully transparent, XCN right now is my biggest bag. This bad boy right here is my biggest bag. And the reason for that is because down here, it was actually one of my smallest bags. But when you do a 20x in 2 weeks, it's gonna grow to be one of my biggest bags, right? Mana would likely be my biggest bag again if it just saw any kind of standard retracement, right? Let alone if it goes to these targets, right? There's a reason for it too. All right, XCN back here, kind of an unknown. Now it's proven itself, okay? Now it's definitely proven itself. It's going to do great things this cycle, I think so. Mana, a lot of people, it's still kind of an unknown, but I think it's already proven itself. I think we already know what to expect of it. And Decentraland itself is building. It's always building, you guys. It's not a forgotten project. It's not a dead project. And there's more users this cycle on a daily basis than there were last cycle by a degree of like 5 times. And it's not a lot. It's like 250 daily users. But last cycle it was like 50 or 30. And now it's 250. What about next year? What about the year or next cycle? What about the cycle after that, right? What about by the end of this cycle? And I'm pretty sure Mana has more daily users than Sandbox does even. And Sandbox has a higher price market cap than Mana does and a higher price. But I'm digressing here. All I'm trying to say is from this current price that Mana is at about 44 cents, a 45.5 cent high, $45.51 high, would give us 100x. This crypto that's been around for multiple cycles that looks bullish as hell, likely tops by the end of this year, has the full potential to be at 100x from here. And it makes all the sense in the world that it could do that, right? This is a very, very bullish phase of accumulation right here, right? You sold off and you've just been moving sideways for a long time. You're doing one, think about it this way, okay? You're doing one of two things here with all this time. Somebody is either offloading a ton of mana and they're taking their time to do it, or somebody's onloading, or multiple somebody's onloading a lot of mana and they're taking their time to do it. In situations like this, when you break out, you get spectacular moves, okay? Hopefully not to the downside, hopefully to the upside. I'm just saying. I wonder if we actually look, if we look at XRP, might have a very similar look to Mana before it broke out, right? Yeah, I would say so. It's not identical, but hey, right? You put a box on it, you know, it's pretty close. This is obviously more box shaped. It's more structured, but XRP also, you know, is consolidating for multiple cycles, to be completely fair. This consolidated for, let's see, from the point that you were in this zone until the point you broke out of that zone, that was 30 bars. Right now, from the point you were in this zone, which was here, to the point that you're at now, you're at 26 bars. You know what I mean? So it's quite literally comparable. And look at what XRP did. Look at what it did. Whenever it moved up, who cares about the percentage? If you pay attention to the percentage, you're going to get it wrong, because XRP and Mana have different market caps. Pay attention to the move. Okay, when you broke out of this move, where did you go relative to your high? You blasted through it. You blasted through it. Your first month where you closed was actually right at the high. So when I'm telling you that spectacular things are coming for Mana, I mean it, right? Where's Mana's current high right now? It's all the way up at about $5.91. That is a 13x from here. And I'm not saying that we're going to do the same thing XRP did. I'm not saying that. But I do expect an explosive move, right? Long-term stuff to get to the short-term stuff now. We're doing it backwards. Hit the like button and subscribe if you like doing it backwards. Sometimes you got to do it that way, right? Keep things fresh and interesting. When I tell you that I don't expect we stop at the golden ratio, which, by the way, anytime you're consolidating in an area like this, it's very common. It's almost not wise to not expect that you would stop here, right? It's the most probable thing that you would stop at $1.67 to $2.12. But sometimes in extremely bullish conditions, you can see things that break above that. Now that's a great minimum target to have. 276% from here, 400% at the most, 379%. That's like a 4, almost a 5x. and that's about a 3.7x, almost a 4x right there. So very solid gains at a minimum. But if we blow up anything like what XRP did, anything like what any crypto that does this does, and not see new highs or not go around our highs, the next target area that we'd go to is 291 at a minimum, which is 558% growth. And then beyond that, $4.05, which is about a 9x in growth. And we absolutely could go higher. You never know. Nobody was expecting XRP, right? It would make the most sense from a high to a low. I bet even you could find videos of me probably at these prices talking about it, finding resistance and moving down. Probably you could, because it would make sense. And you did find resistance there momentarily, but nobody was expecting a move like this, except maybe for the diehard XRP fans, right? Maybe. I'm comparing it to XRP not because they look similar, right? They don't look similar at all, but because the situation is similar. And I hope it's not. I'm not reaching for this. I hope it's easy to connect the dots as to why. But I'm just saying, if we do anything like what XRP did, it's not just acceptable to consider a 6.7x or an 8.3x as a minimum target. It might be acceptable to accept something that's greater than a 10x, maybe even greater than a 20x as a minimum target. It's hard to say. Personally, I don't expect that we see prices above $4 by the end of this move, which will happen by the end of February, if not by the end of March, right? This explosive, phenomenal move that's about to happen, it comes to an end in February or March, okay? Sometime at the end of February, if not the middle of March. I have a hard time seeing that we'd be all the way up here or somewhere above at new all-time highs, and then for the rest of the cycle, we only grow this much, right? I could see us doing this, consolidating, growing, consolidating, and then we end the cycle, right? This actually would have us all the way out in 2028. It's not going to take that much time on a monthly basis. You know, whenever I draw my points out, it makes it look longer, but we don't have to take that much time to move. Again, if you don't believe me, if you think I'm just cherry picking, look at what we did last cycle. We do not need that much time to move. I promise you. I'm just drawing it for effect. But anyways, it would make the most sense, I think, to stop in the next month and a half, somewhere around at a minimum $1.67. But truthfully, more so, I'm thinking around probably $2.90 to $4.05. That's the area that I'm looking for. We're at 44 cents now. Looking at the daily time frame, looking at the RSI, we are reluctant. We are refusing to get oversold, okay? Whenever you do the same thing, whenever you get overbought here, right? You're looking to get overbought, but you're just refusing to get overbought. Here you actually got overbought, so not that. But here, looking to get overbought, rejected. You look to get overbought here, rejected. Look to get it. You got so close, but rejected. What did you do each of those times, right? All you did, each of these times, they were just relative highs in a move that took you down. Down, down, down. Even here, when you slightly got overbought, now I would even call that an overbought rejection, because as soon as you got into it, you rejected out. Immediate selling off, okay? We're doing the same thing here, but on the opposite effect. Now we're doing it to the oversold zone. What's going to happen? If before those were momentary highs, maybe these are momentary lows, and I think they are. So double bottom here, moving up. Likely, probably by the end of this week, we will see targets that are prices above 55 cents, 53 cents, at least above 50 cents by the end of this week. Maybe even dramatically higher than that. We'll see. When mana breaks out, and it could be in the next 24 hours, guys, it could be explosive. You don't know. So if you want to catch the next 100x or higher project that's in the top 100, right? Like mana, I'm pretty sure it's in the top 100. Let me see this actually. Yeah, number 9. It's barely in the top 100, but there's probably not too many coins in the top 100 that have a 100x capability or more. And I think this one does. I really do think it does. There's a reason why it's one of my biggest holdings. I really like it a lot, and I think this move is going to shock the world. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.